I just ran away from home and came back. What should I do? Okay, listen, I may be real quick with this one. And just to be clear, I don't want it to sound like I'm playing the victim card. I just don't know what to do with myself anymore. I'm 15, and I am low-key a failure. I can't even maintain a C average in school. I have an attitude, barely listen, and me and my parents just got in a fight in which I was told to pack up and leave. After I left, my grandma came to pick me up, and I went to her house. She had a learning talk with me about my attitude and disrespect, and the pain I caused my family. She said I was a disappointment, and my mother is starting to resent me. After that, I went to sleep. The next morning, she took me to school. After school, I was in my way home. When I got off the bus, I sat on the bench for about an hour and really thought to myself that I was the problem all along and that maybe my parents' life would be much easier without me. So when I got up from the bench, I went to the local church. In there, I was talking to the pastor until about 7 to 7:30. After that, I went to a friend's house, and there I broke down sobbing to her about how I was feeling, and she prayed over me. Around 10 p.m. that night, I started receiving dozens of phone calls from people all over my family. The next morning, I was on the phone with my brother, and he prayed over me and told me to go home. I went home, and my brother told me I need to get my stuff together and stop playing the victim. I can't blame him for saying that, but I just don't know what to do now. So what should I do? Common reply: being a teenager is hard. Your parents shouldn't have kicked you out. Teenagers have attitude and don't listen. It's part of how your brain is coping with the adjustment from child to adult. This is probably hard to hear, but you should just be doing your best to learn in school and build relationships. You should be exploring your interests to find out who you want to be as an adult. You should try to listen to the adults in your life since they were your age once and all the others, and they remember what it was like and they know what they wish they did. However, it is your parents' job to make you feel safe and loved and valued and wanted. It's their job to take care of you even when you're a pain in the ass. Your grandma should not have told you that you're a disappointment. I don't even know how a 15-year-old could be a disappointment. You don't pull a cake out of the oven halfway through and go, "This cake tastes bad," when it's still half raw. Maybe your family is trying to give you tough love to help you correct course, but you need to know that you're still growing and learning every day, and lots of people your age have the same issues. So the most important thing is that you don't give up on yourself and you give yourself some grace. The older you get, the more you will understand why you are this way, so long as you keep looking and how you want to improve. If you want to improve your grades, start next school year with a different attitude about grades. Think about how you want to learn as much as possible so you can understand the world you live in and all its cool little nuances. Talk to your teachers and classmates when you're not understanding something. I'm a high school teacher, and I can tell you that natural smarts has nothing to do with it. It's all habits, perspective, and confidence. Figure out what's stopping you from succeeding. My guess would be homework. Try staying after school to do homework in the library or doing it as soon as you get home. Maybe try something else. Everyone is different. This is what worked for me. If you want to improve your attitude, start practicing mindfulness. Check in with your emotions. Are you upset about something? Are you afraid? Tired? Sad? Those feelings are so common to everyone, not bad to have them at all, but sometimes they make us say or do things we normally wouldn't. Are you actually giving attitude, or are your parents overly sensitive to perceived disrespect? Some parents are like that, and you just have to be overly careful. Analyze your situation, and then set yourself up for success. If you're in a bad mood and you know you're not going to handle things well right now, consider asking for some time to get in the right headspace for a conversation, or warn people. I'm in a really bad mood, and I might have troubles controlling my attitude right now. It's not personal. But more than anything, you are not a burden. You are a person. Your parents signed up for you. That's what parenting is. Parenting never makes life easier. Parenting is a job. I don't care what anyone told you, your parents need to do their job and raise you. You're old enough now to help them out with that or to fight them on it. It's going to be rough, but you're worth it. You're already pretty self-aware for a teenager, so you might have an easier time about it, but self-improvement is a lifelong journey, and you're only 15. Believe in yourself sounds corny, but we say it for a reason. The quickest way to tank your life is to give up on yourself. I'm not going to blame you for this. We are all a victim of our circumstances, and I'm willing to bet that there are a lot of reasons for your problems. But just because you're a victim doesn't mean you're helpless. You can change yourself. That doesn't mean this is your fault. Comment 2. That first long comment is pretty accurate. It explains how we are all difficult at 15 and how you are still figuring out how to be a person. Sounds like your parents might not be great role models. Do some Googling of business people and talk to teachers at your school. Find a role model in a teacher or business person that you admire their story. Model good habits that set you up for success. When you don't feel like doing homework, just tell yourself you will do one question, or do it for 15 minutes. The trick there is that it is easier to keep going once you start. Find what your obstacles are, and then find tricks to keep you moving. You know what people fail to realize? Everyone in modern culture/celebrities are all people just like you and me. Jeff Bezos was just a guy who was into computers and made a book business that turned into Amazon. The president was just a guy whose dad was a shady businessman. The head of NASA is just a person. You can be successful too. It requires hard work and is easier with family support and connections, of course, but can be done with just hard work. It will take a while to figure out what your successful life looks like, but when you do, work your ass off for it. You will never be as young and healthy as you are today. Take advantage of your youthfulness and energy and do the hard stuff now so you can be successful later. Am I overreacting that my BF is fat phobic to his sister? Today we decided to go to this dairy farm, and it was like this giant scale there, I guess, to weigh cows, and we decided to play around and get on the scale, so we all took turns on it, and when my best friend/BF sister, and when she got on it she weighed more than me. I weigh 116 and she weighed 176, and my BF made a joke out of how she weighed more than me when I'm currently pregnant. I don't remember exactly what he said, but other people were around and heard him, and she literally went and sat in the car the entire time and cried about how she's sick of being the butt of the joke. I tried to explain to her that she shouldn't feel bad and that she isn't fat and we're literally different heights. I'm 5'0" and she's 5 feet, and that he's being a dick for attention. She then says like he never commented on her weight until we started dating because I'm skinny, so I feel awful that I need to fix this because the deep reason of why I'm skinny is because I was struggling with an ED before I got pregnant that no one knows about, so AIO? Comment 1. As a fat person, I just want to say I think it says a lot about you that even though you've struggled with an eating disorder, you don't let it stop you from being kind to others. I've been there too, and it is so hard, but I see so many people online use their own disorder as an excuse to bully and harass fat women. I know it means so much to your best friend that you stuck up for her and have continued to support her. That being said, I think your BF is definitely fatphobic. It's clear he has problematic views about fatness being an indication of morality, which it's not. It's not even always an indicator of poor health. I think you sharing your own experience with your boyfriend could be helpful for him to understand that how someone's body looks doesn't mean they are healthy or happy, but there's a chance he still won't receive it well. In that case, it's worth considering whether or not you want a negative influence in your child's life when it comes to food. He's saying, I won't let my child be fat, which could mean he will be overly controlling of their food intake and exercise. That has the potential to set your child up to have disordered eating. I know my family influence has had major effects on my relationship with food. It's also possible that your BF himself has an eating disorder. The most common type in men is an obsession with working out and being incredibly strict about dieting. You're definitely not overreacting. Personally, this would be a relationship-ending thing for me, but it's up to you whether or not you think this is something he can work on. If he refuses to budge, I think get out while you and your child can. Comment 2. Girl, I went through your post history, and I really don't know what to say. Firstly, I'm sorry this happened to you. You trusted your boyfriend, and he really, truthfully speaking, did you dirty. I know you don't think you were groomed. I don't think so either, but you've been used and are being treated like filth by your boyfriend, church community. I don't know much. I'm making judgments based on your post. I'm very sorry for the people around you. This shouldn't have happened. Your mother should have had a more proper conversation with you on this topic. You aren't and weren't meant to learn from your boyfriend, and he's by no means a pro. You have a few difficult years coming up, but you can do this. I'm just worried about you doing this alone. Because of the situation, you'll need to grow up hard and fast. I'll encourage you to talk with your boyfriend. Go to therapy, both of you. I know you mentioned being in one, but you also complained about her, so maybe something to think about. If things do not work out well even after putting this much effort, I will honestly recommend separating from him because he's not behaving maturely in any way. It's scary that it seems like you're the only one making plans about all this while the only thing he's done is make weird posts on Mother's Day and insult your best friend/his sister. This will be one of the harder decisions but needs to be thought about one way or another. I'm very sorry with everything that's been going on and just want to give you a big hug. No matter what, you'll be a fine mother. Come good days and bad days, you're doing all right. Especially given how much you think about your son. Should I stay with my boyfriend and his family once I give birth? Or at home with my mom that relapsed? I'm currently 36 weeks pregnant, and for context, this is very much unplanned pregnancy, LOL. Before I got pregnant, I was already living with my mom. It's pretty much just me and her. She's nice enough to allow me to occupy a guest room for the nursery and use 2 bedrooms in our house. One is a nursery, the other is my room, lol. Me and my mom do have our issues and disagreements, but I do like being at home in my own room, and I feel comfortable at home. However, the problem comes because my mom has recently started drinking, which is concerning my child's father. Also, my baby is currently breached, so it's looking like I will be needing a C-section, and the recovery I know can be tough, and is obviously recommended to have help while recovering and with my mom drinking again. She might not be reliable for me when he's not there. He's not allowed to stay over. I also have told him some past trauma about her drinking, but I don't think she's anywhere near that deep end point. I know my mom, and I know she would never intentionally hurt me and the baby. I'm not even planning on leaving him alone with her LB home, so I still rather be postpartum at my home rather than at his house. He lives at home in a DIY studio apartment that his parents made him on top of their garage for him. So it would be me, him, and the baby sleeping in that room. There's no good air ventilation in there, and it gets really hot in there in the summer. Plus, his entire family practically live in that house on the property. His parents, his grandparents, his sister and her kids, plus my best friend, his sister, and other siblings and a couple cousins, so it's a full house already. I feel like it's going to overstimulate me more than help me. I also have suspicions my boyfriend is not truly going to let me recover for 6 weeks, and I know he would just get so pissy with me if denied him since he's so used to me constantly giving in and giving him my attention. I told him all of this and he got so mad at me and told me I'm already setting it up that he won't be able to be a father, and that I'm always choosing my family over his, and that it's not fair on his end. So, what do? I need to make my decision because the baby is coming any day at this point, and I'm already so stressed and obviously scared. Comment 1. You don't owe either of them your peace. You owe your baby your stability. And right now, your gut already knows where that is. Your mom's drinking is a red flag. But your boyfriend's selfishness? That's a whole parade. The fact that he's pressuring you while you're 36 weeks and facing surgery tells you everything. If he really cared about being a father, he'd be focused on supporting your recovery, not sulking about attention. And you living in an overcrowded, hot garage with a newborn isn't being a family. It's putting yourself in survival mode for someone else's comfort. Stay where you feel safe and in control. Set boundaries with your mom. Line up backup support if you can. But don't trade your sanity for the illusion of a united front. You're the one who has to heal. You get to call the shots. Protect that right with everything you've got. Comment 2. I'm so sorry. This sounds incredibly stressful. Can you think of this as a 1 week at a time situation? First, ask him if he's willing to help get his studio ready for C-section recovery. Will he help you get a portable in-home air conditioner, and will he commit to 6 weeks of no sex? If that's what you mean by him getting pissy about not getting your attention, let him know that you expect to spend occasional nights with your mom, but that you'd love to be with him most of the time. He has no idea how much he'll appreciate getting a full night's sleep every few nights, and it will give him fresh legs to back you up. If he's willing, let your mom know that you're going to try doing some amount of time over at his place after the baby comes so that he can bond with the baby, but that you're deeply grateful for the chance to keep the 2 rooms so you can come back and spend time with her when you need the support. I would just sidestep the question of her drinking right now. As you found, she'll only go into recovery when she needs to. When baby comes, try a few nights at his place and see how you feel. There's also nothing wrong with spending days and dinner with him and then sleeping at your mom's place so he can get a solid night's sleep for work and you can get some mom support. In the meantime, I would ask your OB/GYN if they have any support recommendations for new moms. Explain that you have housing with your mom but you're concerned about her relapse, and ask if there is anything like in-home nursing visits, first-week baby groups, diaper drop-offs, anything that will make it easier. I would also call every church in driving distance and ask them the same question. With babies and later with childcare, I found it really helped to just take things 1 week at a time, or 1 month at a time. When you're anxious, it's easy for your mind to stretch ahead and find the problems coming down the road, but you can always ask yourself, is this a problem right now? As in this very minute. If not, I'll tackle it when it comes. Keep asking yourself, is this a problem right now? It's a good anti-worry trick. Extreme levels of parental entitlement. Renovate our house for free. Long-time lurker. First-time poster here. I, 39F, have been knowingly child-free since I can remember, and it's great to have this space to feel normal and safely rant about the frankly infuriating levels of entitlement from some parents out there in the world. Thank you for being you, folks. Anyway, a recent encounter of parental entitlement keeps wandering into my mind, and I need to rant about it somewhere, so here goes with my first post. My partner, 35M, goes climbing a couple of times a week with a random bunch of other guys he knows. A couple of months ago, He received an FB invite to a housewarming party from one of said climbing buddies. He knows him only through this shared activity. They don't socialize together otherwise, and he doesn't know him that well. The housewarming invite is written by this dude and his wife. It explains that since they have both recently bought and moved into their house, and they have just had their first baby, they are introducing a brand new concept for this party. It will be a work party, as they have a load of renovation work to do on their house, and they want some help because caring for the baby is taking up all of their energy. A detailed itinerary of the help they want reveals it is all fairly heavy labor, such as demolition of walls, removing bulky waste, and taking it to the waste center, stripping and painting walls, etc. In exchange for this, you might get a coffee and a cake during the day, and they will cook dinner in the evening. How marvelous. Now, if we lived in a less capitalist society without demanding 9-to-5 jobs and our own life responsibilities to tend to, sure. I can see the whole village thing as an aspirational view of community, where everyone does their bit to help each other out. However, this couple, who willingly chose to do the two of the most stressful things at the same time, house reno and having a child, are now expecting basically free labor instead of paying for it. The invite was sent out to over 100 people they vaguely know. My partner, who has ADHD and gets excited by novelty, was initially positive about doing some hard labor with his buddies, but I reminded him of the fact we are living in the mess of our own house renovation, and we've been doing it ourselves gradually or paying for professionals when we can afford it. We are not putting that expectation on a bunch of people we care about for free because that ain't fair or reasonable. The world is stressful enough right now. We all need to find rest and peace where we can. I explained to my partner that despite this couple's fun framing of this party as a brand new concept, it is in fact one of the oldest known to humanity. It's commonly known as taking the piss. He slept on it, woke up to reality, and thankfully didn't accept the invitation. But what in the Parental Audacity Awards 2025 was this? Why and how do these people think they are entitled to ask for heavy-duty work, for free, from people they even only vaguely know? Why bring a child into the world and buy a house in need of renovation if you can't afford/refuse to pay for professional help to make it more livable? I was horrified, reader, and I still am. I just needed to rant about it, as this one feels a bit more insidious. And hell, maybe some folks enjoy this kind of party than letting their child sing over a plain tannoy or be a douche on public transport. Parental entitlement comes in many flavors, and it gives parents who don't behave like this and take responsibility for their choices a bad name.
Ugh.
Should I move? So this is a bit of a long story, but I won't go much into it. I live in Florida and hate it. I live with my aunt and work at my family business. I'm 19 and work a 9-to-5 desk job for my family business, which is a furniture store. I hate it. I wanted to stick with it and stay because it's my family business and I wanted to carry on the legacy, I guess. But I hate it every day I come and I think I start to hate it more. I get paid $14 an hour, no benefits, and there's obvious favoritism in the family. And to add, I've made almost $100,000 in commissions since Jan for the business, and have not seen a penny of it. My uncle, who has recently found a new job, is getting paid for a month off of work for the transition. He will be receiving all of my commission. My dad, whom I used to live with, moved to Oklahoma. I didn't because all of my family on both sides are here, but I wish I did. I have never been happy here. I've changed jobs and have moved from my mom's to my aunt's due to other circumstances. I could go back to college here, but my grandfather expects me to continue to work here even if I go to school for my dream job, which is nursing. If I moved to OK, I would be able to go to school and work where they would give me free classes to get my can. There would more financial freedom for me, BC. I do pay rent and such at my aunt's. I graduated early from high school and felt like I was ahead and ready to conquer schooling to be able to become a nurse. And now 2 years later, I feel like I'm stuck and like I'm not where I need to be in life. I feel like there's so much more I need to do, yet I fear that this would be the rest of my life. My dad wants me to move up with him. I'm just having a lot of guilt for leaving the family business and leaving my aunt hanging with me paying a portion of rent. Should I move? Need to vent and advice about a close friend. There's a lot of context I can't possibly all include here, but I'll start this by saying that she comes from wealth and privilege, whereas I come from some money scarcity. She's very down to earth with money, but I think a lot of this story relates back to this point. I can admit that maybe I feel resentful or jealous about this fact at times. Friend and her fiancé recently moved to Europe from California, where I am. It had been a long dream of hers, and they moved simply to experience the culture and get out of the States. She fortunately has a high-paying job in tech and works remotely, The company supported her relocation and work visa for this. With the flexibilities of her job, she's able to take a lot of time off work and travel locally in Europe and enjoy her time there. She asked me to be her MOH before moving last fall. Although, it is sort of in spirit because the wedding ceremony won't include a formal wedding party. Anyway, the wedding is a big bash at a castle in Europe. Multiple-day event followed by a long weekend at the coast. Overall, a week-long event of wedding festivities. A few details I think are relevant. Her bachelorette party was an international trip to Mexico before they relocated to Europe. It was a fun time, but was expensive. I got married late last year. It was very last minute and a simple city hall ceremony. She was planning to join flying from Europe to California, but it ended up being way too expensive because it was around the holidays. So didn't join. And honestly, I preferred that because it was such an informal event and I felt like it would be crazy for her to travel so far and spend the money for a few hours. We didn't invite anyone except our immediate family, anyway. Earlier this year was facing layoffs. I eventually left that job and just started a new job a month ago. I am on probation through a union contract and turns out I cannot exercise any vacation time for the next 5 months while on probation. I have had reservations about attending the wedding for a while. Mostly because it's so much money to spend that I'm not entirely comfortable with, and I think it's asking a hell of a lot of your friends to do that for you. I think I am resentful for it being so bougie. But after the recent news of not being able to take vacation while on probation, I called it. I told her I would not be able to attend. She was shocked and initially understanding. But now she has been ignoring me. She said she needs time to process things. I feel bad, but I also think it's unfair to act so reactive. I'm getting angrier by the day for what I feel are unreasonable expectations of friends. I don't know if my feelings are valid or if I need to be more understanding. Is it fair for her to be devastated and ghost me over this? Overreacting for feeling uncomfortable around my friends drinking and finally confronting them? Hey y'all, I need an outside perspective on a situation that's been weighing on me for a while. One of my closest friends has a drinking problem that they are well aware of and said they were getting help for. Alcohol is always present when we hang out, no matter the situation. Over time, their drinking has started affecting how safe and respected I feel around them. A few examples. They recently came to my house already drunk and yelled at my dog for barking at them, even after I repeatedly asked her to stop. They know my dog is anxious, which makes him reactive and needs to take time to build trust with my friends, and I feel because they're always under the influence my dog can tell and makes it hard for him to bond with them. It made me genuinely concerned for their safety as well as my dog's since I haven't seen him go past aggression that isn't hurting or barking. When we went to go visit my wedding venue together to plan the event space out, they brought alcohol and pre-gamed in the car before we got there. It was supposed to be a meaningful, special time to share ideas. Instead, they kept interrupting me with slurring speech and made me feel unheard. I took them out at my workplace for their birthday, and they started loudly making fun of a coworker who's been harassing me. I had to keep telling them to stop. I was already panicking about getting in trouble for their behavior. Luckily, it was never brought up, so maybe it wasn't heard, but still. Even something simple like getting coffee as a group, they ordered a Bloody Mary while everyone else had coffee. I just started my period that day and was extremely sensitive, so seeing it made me shut down. It not only made me feel like they couldn't be present with me unless they were drinking, I feel like I have to be on high alert if they start behaving inappropriately due to the alcohol. There have also been times where they drank too much to drive, and I ended up driving their car home. I've stayed quiet in the past, even played along at times, e.g., taking a sip from their water bottle full of alcohol so they wouldn't feel embarrassed. But it's getting to a point where I am aware I'm enabling something that makes me deeply uncomfortable for the sake of her comfort, which I know is wrong. I finally said something this week. I sent them a message outlining everything, gently but honestly, and told them that I care about them, but I felt like I'm walking on eggshells. I even told them that I originally planned to invite them and their partner to my elopement, but decided not to because I was worried about their drinking and behavior on what was meant to be a peaceful, family-only day. I texted them a couple weeks before if they were free then after the restaurant incident. My now husband and I agreed to keep it family only when they asked to come. It wasn't easy to say, and I was scared I'd lose the friendship, but I needed to be honest. They replied saying, "Okay, I understand. I'm not ignoring this text, but I don't know how to respond." I let them know it was okay, and that I'd be here when they were ready to talk. It's been 24 hours. Now I'm just sitting with a lot of feelings, guilt, sadness, some relief, and also some fear that maybe I was too harsh or that I should have let it go. There's someone I care about a lot. I didn't want to hurt them, but I do need to feel respected in my own life. We're both in our 30s, and this behavior is something I can't handle anymore in my life moving forward. So, am I overreacting in the text I sent? Not sure how to handle this situation. So I have been talking to a couple of women recently. One is a 37 years old woman who's local to me. The other is a 22 years old girl from Missouri. Both women I'm hitting it off with great. Problem is that I wasn't intending to attract both of them at the same time, and vice versa. I really like both of them, but I don't want to get anyone's feelings. I'm homeless right now, and as such, I've got a tent I'm going to set up right. Well, the 37 years old lady wants to come stay with me at my camp. She's been homeless before too, because the dude she's been staying with is abusive and she can't take it anymore. I already told her to come. So this morning I'm talking to the other girl I've been talking to, and we really started bonding over some stuff and getting to know each other, finally got past the small talk phase, you know. Well, at one point she said that she's saving up for an apartment and that if we keep hitting it off great like we are, she is seriously offering for me to move in with her. So y'all, like, what do I do here? I really like both of these women. However, I'm more physically attracted to the 22-year-old, and I don't really want to date someone older again. My last ex was 42. But both of these women are beautiful souls, and I really don't want to hurt either no matter which route I go with this. Any idea how I should handle this? Neither women I'm actually dating right now still talking, as NS, we are just friends phase. Edit. To all the people who are commenting saying that I should get my life sorted out before dating, I don't agree with that for a few reasons. First off, being open to dating in this situation helps to filter out the women who are judgmental and high maintenance. Usually women who understand the struggle are the ones who will engage with me. Obviously, the ones who want to prey on me try to come around, but I spot them instantly and cut them out, and have guards up for those kinds of people. Secondly, I am starting my own business right now, private tutoring anyone who wants to learn computer programming. If that's something you're interested in, DM me. I'm always on lookout for new students. So that being said, it's going to take a while to grow this into something that will help me to get stable again. I'm also on housing lists for my local area, which can take months. That's if I don't move anywhere.